Hello and welcome to another video here at Movie Mash, and today we're going to talk about Mortal Kombat 1995 starring Robert Shue, Bridget Wilson, Linda Nashby, Christopher Lambert and Kari Haruyuki Tagawa, and directed by Paul W.S. Anderson. So the story goes, there's three fighters from Earth. They're going to a faraway land to fight in a tournament to protect Earth, the Earth realm, against the Out realm, with Shang Tsung trying to take over the world and the ruler Shao Kahn. So Mortal Kombat originally was a video game that came out in 1992. It was a bit of a rival to Street Fighter from the success of that, and it had a hell of a lot of blood compared to normal games at the time. And it was one of the first games, if not the first game, that ever got a 15 certificate. Well, we call 15 over here. It was a massive success. The game franchise is even still going today. It's actually really good. I loved it back in the day when I was a kid. But because of popularity, a film was made out of it. So on to positives. I'll start with the theme tune. I love the theme tune. It's a kind of a typical 90s techno hardcore dance tune that I actually have as a ringtone. I've actually had it for the last few years and I won't change it for nothing. Love it. It sticks in your head for hours. For me, one of the best parts of the film is Shang Tsung, played by Kari Haruyuki Tagawa. He is perfect in the part. He's over the top, but in a good way. I've seen him in loads of other films. He's actually a decent actor, but yeah, he was perfect casting for this film. Liu Kang, I thought he was a good cast as well. His acting was pretty decent. His fighting skills, you can see he knows how to fight. I know he's had quite a few films. He's quite popular in the B-movie, Kung Fu movie world. But yeah, he's pretty decent, and I thought he was perfect for Liu Kang. The rest of the acting was okay with Sonya and Johnny Cage. They're okay. Not my first choices, but I'm not going to moan. They did what they needed to. Now, one of the best parts of the movie is when SubZero and Scorpion enter the room. They look badass. It was done really well. I love the characters. I think they were really good in the film. They look good too. It had the suits from the original first two games rather than what they look like now. But brilliant.
Got that radio handy?
Scorpion and SubZero. The deadliest of enemies, but slaves under my power.
The fight scenes and the choreography is really good. I can't fault it. Especially the scenes with Johnny Cage and Scorpion. We got Liu Kang versus Reptile, Liu Kang versus Shang Tsung, and Liu Kang versus SubZero. They were the main fights. They're all really good. Yeah, there's a load of other bits and pieces in between, but they stood out for me, and that's one of the best parts of the film also. Now, special effects and animatronics with Goro. I liked Goro's animatronics. Yeah, it looks a bit ropey today, but it's still pretty decent. I mean, they used a little bit of CGI on it, but it's not noticeable. And you could see there was a lot of effort gone into that. And it's a shame that they couldn't use more practical effects in it, because the overused CGI, it's a bit much. Even for then, I know back in the 90s, everything was CGI, but I found that it was a little bit too much at parts. And it felt like you're on an acid trip, especially with the scene with Reptile. But some parts didn't look too bad, and if they just kept it to a minimum, it would have been a lot better. But you know, it's the 90s. I like the set pieces. The set pieces look authentic to the game. I enjoy. Yeah, they all look good. Some matte paintings, but still, I really liked them. There was some work in it, maybe some CGI here and there, but yeah, no, it was decent. The set pieces. Now, the pacing was really good too. It wasn't really slow at any part. It kept moving along. Even the down times, they just moved along pretty decent. So yeah, another good positive. This is the second movie from game to movie. I think Mario Brothers was the first. They threw a lot of money at it and it bombed badly at the box office. This film was the second, and a lot of people will say to this day it's probably one of the most accurate. Not that there's a big story, but I tend to agree when it comes to storyline and accuracy, it's very similar. This film made money, so yeah, I can't fault it. It is quite accurate to the game. So on to negatives. As I said, the CGI wasn't always that good. It was over the top and it took you out of the film a lot. Christopher Lambert as Raiden, for me, he was miscast. I don't think he was the best part. I think they're probably the best they could afford at the time because he was a bit of a name. I actually like Christopher Lambert, especially from Highlander. But yeah, plus sometimes he was a bit of a comic relief. And for me, being a big fan of the game, I don't see Raiden as funny at any time. No, I don't think he was a good part, and I know he tried.
The fate of billions will depend upon you. Sorry.
Now, the film's very choppy, and it don't make sense, half of it. Right, I'll give you an example. There's a fight, there's a tournament with Liu Kang, he's fighting someone. Then the next scene, it chops to Johnny Cage walking through a forest, and he comes across Scorpion, and there's a big fight and showdown. But how did he get to the forest? Where did that come from? Where was he going? What was he doing? I mean, it felt like there was a scene taken out of it. I mean, it was from a fight, which I thought he was at the tournament. Next one, he's walking through a wooded area. I mean, right. And then that was all we heard about that. Where was he going? Now, the next part was, I know I'm nitpicking, but Reptile and Liu Kang, he was walking with Johnny Cage. Liu Kang was walking with Johnny Cage. They were talking about something. Reptile come out of nowhere, started fighting with Liu Kang. It was a big showdown to the death, pretty much. Where was Johnny Cage? He was just walking with him. Is he not helping? Is he just standing outside waiting for him to finish? Where did he go? I know it was to get the fight going, but yeah, I mean, like, you'd think Johnny Cage would jump in and help. They didn't explain. He was just outside waiting for him to win. I don't know. Now, another one. Johnny Cage is fighting Goro, and when there's at the fight, it's a tournament, and there's loads of people there, all the henchmen, all the good and the bad. They're all shouting and screaming and all that. And once he beats Goro, turns around, nobody's there, and Shang Tsung's got hold of Sonya and he's kidnapping her. I'm like, hold on, do we miss something? Where did everyone go? How did he get hold of Sonya? You know, it just jumped again, like there was a whole scene missing. This is a W.S. Anderson film. He does the same in Resident Evil. It's just jump from one to the other. Now, the last thing I'm going to say when it comes to choppy scenes. So Shang Tsung takes Sonya to the Outworld. And when they finally get to Johnny Cage and Liu Kang get to the Outworld after her, she's dressed up she's tied up. She's in sexy clothes. Her hair is all done up and all frizzed out and all, you know. And I'm like, so what happened? Did Shang Tsung change your clothes for you when you were tied up? Did he also give you a new hairdo? Or did you do it yourself? I mean, like, you don't look like someone who's chained up and had a hard time while you were there. You got a makeover and a hairdo. Okay, I know it's just to make her look good for the film, but still, it kind of made me laugh. Now, just another little thing, it's a bit of a nitpick. SubZero, when he's fighting Liu Kang, the CGI in this part was actually quite decent because it was kept to a minimum as he's throwing and creating ice and throwing it at Liu Kang. But in the meantime, when he was doing that, Liu Kang threw a bucket of water at him and it froze him and ended up killing SubZero. So basically, SubZero's biggest enemy is a bucket of water. When it comes to Paul W.S. Anderson, I don't think he's my favourite director. I think he seems to choose style over story and substance. Now, if you watch his Resident Evil franchise, a lot of the films are choppy, inconsistent and all over the place. And same as Alien vs Predator. And I know he's a good try for his first film, but I don't think that has changed. But his movies do make money. They do make a lot of money at the box office. So studio executives keep throwing the money at him while he's making the money. So I suppose why not? So my final thought. This film, you can have a lot of fun watching it as long as you don't read into it at all. And there's a lot of fan service to be had in this film. A lot of the characters are pretty similar to the game. And if you're a fan of the game, there's a lot of fan service in it. I am a fan of the original game, the original few. I'm still a fan of the games today. So for that reason, I'm going to give it a side thumb. But what I want to know is, what did you think of it? Are you an old fan of the game? Did you see it? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Please let me know in the comments below, and please subscribe. But for now, and until next time.
Fatality.